What's up, vinyl community? It's your boy Chris, coming at you live from the man cave. I've been seeing a ton of best picks and best finds and whatever of 2018 videos going up, and I usually don't do anything like that, but 2018 was such a killer year for me in terms of finding and receiving records that I never in my life thought I would get. Like never in a million years thought I would get, never thought I would own. So it was almost impossible for me. But just a minute ago, I took 2 or 3 minutes, I ran through my collection real quick, and I just grabbed the first 10 that came to my mind. I'm going to go back and watch this, no doubt. I'm going to think about it in a minute, like, damn, why did I leave that one off? That one was so major. That one was huge. But I could always do another damn video now, can't I? That's the beauty of it. So, without further ado, 10 records. Not in any particular order, by the way. I want to make sure I make that clear. 10 oh my god finds from 2018, starting now. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, self-titled. Of course, it's become known as Monin, based on the title track written and constructed by Bobby Timmons. I never thought I'd own an original pressing of this. The only press I ever owned of this before it was a Japanese pressing. My boy at Noble Records, Dylan, got his hands on a copy, on this copy actually, West 63rd Street, everything. I mean, original mono. And immediately started taunting me with it. Sending me pictures, videos, ha ha ha, you'll never own this record, yada yada yada. And, he and I both know that it's going down. I'm going to own it. I'm going to put some stuff together that he wants. We're going to do a trade. There's going to be something that's going to go down, and it's going to be mine. But in the meantime, why not taunt me and make me want it that much more so that I run and go get the good shit for him? My boy knows how to play me. He knows exactly how to play me, and it worked. I can't remember what all he got in the deal, but he got a bunch of heat, plus my Japanese pressing of this album. So it's like, hey man, I'll make sure you still own the album. And so I was super psyched to get that. That's one of my favorite records of all time. This is one that I about shat myself when my boy sent me a picture of this one and asked me did I want it. Donald Byrd, Off to the Races, original mono press, Blue Note, West 63rd. You guys know, immaculate condition. He just sent me a picture with this album and the record and said, do you want? No and yes. Again, guys, I never discuss finances, but this guy has put me in touch with most of this stack that I'm going to show you today, actually. In 2018, and I think starting late parts of 2017, but I got so much heat this year. So much heat. Another one of the ones that I got from him, Leaping and Loping, Sonny Clark, second mono press. Second. It's got the New York labels on it. All the familiar signs of an original press, right? The RVG stamp, everything. So what does it not have? Why is it a second press? It doesn't have that damn ear on it. And of course, us freaks, us Blue Note freaks, us jazz freaks, us original pressing freaks like myself, we're looking for that damn thing. We're looking for that ear. So technically that is a second mono press. But the only thing that separates it from the first press is it doesn't have that ear in the group, in the dead wax that most people, unless you're a madman like myself, or as Dylan called me on his podcast, a psychopath. Was it his podcast or was it his video? Anyway, I can't remember. But yeah, but that's gonna do me. That was an incredibly reasonable price, especially when you consider what those damn things go for. So I'm incredibly thrilled to have it. Another one of those ones that I just never in my life thought I would own, ever. Okay, I'm mixing around a little bit. Okay, here's one. Out of the blue, Sunny Red, original mono, West 47 63rd Street labels. I think I may have told this story on one of my videos, but just in case you guys haven't seen that damn video, here it goes real quick. So I'm at my boy Dylan at Noble Records pop-up sale at amazing and beautiful Lenny Boy Brewing in wonderful and amazing Charlotte, North Carolina. And he's had some stuff already there waiting for me. I bring a bunch of records to trade for him towards what I'm getting from him. And I bring my about year-old daughter with me. Just me, her, on the big city, on I think like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. I can't remember. And I'm watching her, I'm entertaining her. We make the swap of the wax. Ends up coming back, he ends up owing me some cash. That happens a lot. He and I usually part from a trade with one of us owing the other one money. That's just usually the way it goes. On this particular occasion, he owes me money. He's like, you can look around. And I just kind of smile and look down at my daughter, and I'm like, yeah, I can't really do that right now. It's hard to dig around in a crowd full of people and keep my 1-year-old entertained. So, don't worry, we'll make it up some other time. When you find, some holy shit record, just shoot me a message, which he usually does any damn way. So it's not like I'm asking him to do something that he doesn't already do. But anyway, he goes, you got some time? You gonna be here a little while longer? And I'm thinking, yeah, I can hang around a little bit. I got snacks for my daughter. She's having fun. I'm having a good time. Why not? He goes, because a guy just brought in a Blue Note for trade. And eyes get real big, and I'm like, okay, trying to rein myself in. It's like, because there's a good chance I've got it. And so I looked up at him, I said, well, bring it over. And he goes, I haven't quite closed that deal yet. And he goes, so if you're going to be hanging around for a little while, I said, yeah, man, just let me know. Let me know when you close the deal. So I hang out, and I'm at a brewery, so you guys know I'm not bored. And I give it about 30 minutes maybe, and he comes walking over to me with this glorious, beautiful son of a bitch right here. And just brings it right up to me with a smile on his face, so huge, because that's just him. He loves to put something in somebody's hands that he knows they want. He loves to help them find that grail, that wonderful record that he knows they want. He loves to do that. He gets a bigger high off of it, I think, than the people who receive the records get sometimes. Sometimes I believe that. And I might not be far off on that. But anyway, so I immediately look at it. And look how, it's clean as hell. It's so damn clean. It's so clean that I'm thinking, it's got to be a reissue. Like, it's got to be. But, I start thinking in my head, because this is one that I've wanted for years, I'm like, this album hasn't even been reissued that often. So I immediately grab it, pull out the record, West 47 63rd, and I start looking, okay, there's RVG, there's the year. What? Son of a bitch, this is an original press. And I look up at him, and I said, dude, what do you want for it? He gives me a totally reasonable price. Let's just say he no longer owed me money, I owed him money. But we closed the deal, parted, and that's just one of many examples of him putting a record in my hands throughout the 7 or 8 years he and I have been doing this. Another big one for me, Wayne Shorter, Juju, original mono, New York labels, everything's pristine. It's got no split seams. It's got no writing on it. It's got nothing. It doesn't have a thing in this world wrong with it. It plays like it was pressed yesterday. It was one that was on my list for years, and by the way, is becoming increasingly more valuable, as is usually the case with most of these jazz albums, am I right? Let's just call it what it is. But I'm beyond thrilled to have that one. All right. John Coltrane, Lush Life, original mono, Prestige, the only thing in this world wrong with it, and it's really, you know, it's something that I can ignore for a record that goes for this much money. There's a little writing on the label, if you guys can see. Writing on each side is somebody's name. It appears to be Henry Roberts or Harvey Roberts or something. So thank you for taking care of your record, Mr. Roberts, because it sounds immaculate. That's all I can say about that. And I freaking love this album. I've always loved this album. Before that, I owned a Analog Productions reissue, which again sounded amazing. But I bought that one, turned around and sold my Analog Productions to my boy Corey, CMJ Vinyl. Got a channel on here, but never post a freaking video. I don't even think he watches mine, so what's up, Corey, if you watch? Little test just to see if you watch my videos. But anyway, I never thought I'd own that. Long list. If I went through every major find of 2018, of every holy shit album that I never thought I would own, this video would run 2 hours. And not just because I like to talk, whichever one of you do. I could just pull them out and show them to you and not say anything else, and I promise you that video would run 2 hours. Okay. All right. John Coltrane, Blue Train. Guys, quite possibly my favorite jazz album of all time. Quite possibly. As of right now, all I'm prepared to say is that it's absolutely my favorite Blue Note release. Original mono press, West 47, 63rd Street. Nothing but class. It's beautiful. I just can't even begin to tell you guys how much I love this album. This particular video doesn't capture it, but I have a custom-made canvas with just this album cover on it. And it's one of my favorite pieces of art that I have. And I think some of my other videos capture it, but I'll make sure I get it in there next time. But the love that I have for this album is just out of this world. It's the only album Train did on Blue Note. It's immaculate and amazing in every way, and it's another one of those ones that I just can't believe I own, and I got it in 2018. Before that, I had an Analog Productions reissue, which ended up being sold to a friend who really just wanted to have the album. Guys, give me one quick second. As you guys know, I'm a little bit of a mess when it comes to doing these videos. I don't edit out anything. So, in the final cut of this video will be me, lovingly, pouring myself another beer because I'm dry and I got a few more records to talk about. Lord knows you can't have that. Cheers, you guys. Oh. Beer and records are proof that not only is there a God, but he wants us all to be happy. Please remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Words of wisdom from At Tunes from the Man Cave. Okay. So, record store day, Black Friday record store day. I'm at work. I have to work. I tried to run an arrangement with a guy to come in and work for me that day, swap days so that I could go. I only had a couple of things I wanted. I wanted the new, the Eric Dolphy 3LP. I wanted the Herbie Hancock. I wanted the Dexter Gordon. Yada yada. I'm not going to bore you guys. I think there was 4 records in total that I wanted. One that I was dead set on. But I ended up not being able to go, and I still haven't gotten my hands on any of those because I've been busy using my money obtaining this glorious original Jazz Wax. And so this is always going to win. But again, I'm depressed because I didn't get to go. And I'm at work, and my boy at DJ Party, my friend, is in line at his record store. He goes in, and he's not wanting any record store day releases. He's wanting to go in and take advantage of some stuff that he knows is on that valuable shelf. Some stuff that he knows they have. And he and I have talked about this album I'm getting ready to show you. And I might as well go ahead and give it context. Unity by Larry Young. Original stereo pressing. It's freaking glorious. New York labels. And he and I have talked about it before, and I had told him how high it was on my list of wants. So he's in line, and he sends me a message. And he says, dude, there is a copy of Larry Young's Unity in the window at the record store that I'm at. And I'm about positive, because I can only look at it because I'm in line, but I'm about positive it's an original, but I'm not positive. If it is, do you want it? And I'm at work and I'm just sweating bullets. I'm like, oh my goodness, because I've never even seen an original copy of this. And I text him back. I say, yeah, man, if it's an original, damn right I want it. Yeah, I do. I want it. And about 10, 15 minutes go by and I don't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, all right. And then I get a message saying, just call the guy who works in the store to get the details on that Unity. It's an original stereo pressing. VG++. Do you still want it? I said, hell yeah, man, I want it. Please. I mean, I will send you the money. Let me know what you need. I'll send it to you. And he told me he got the amount from the guy inside the store. So I'm like, okay, give me a minute. I'll PayPal you some money. Like, I don't have all of that. I ended up being like 30 or 40 bucks short. I'm like, is that cool? If it's not, then don't worry about it. Don't grab it. Then, I just missed out. But him being the awesome guy he is, went ahead and grabbed it for me. I told him, give me a day or two, I can get you the rest. But he looks at me, looks at me. He goes, I don't think I'm going to have a problem getting it. He goes, everybody standing in front of me in line looks like metalheads. Yeah, a little bit of profiling. Just a little. Just to know that you're going to be able to get your hands on one. Hey, why not? So about 30, 45 minutes later, he sends me a picture of him holding it. He says, dude, it's yours. And man, I got to tell you, that was a huge one off the list. For you guys who have never heard Larry Young's Unity, Woody Shaw, Joe Henderson, Elvin Jones, for you guys who have never heard that, get that record into your life. It's amazing. All right, another. You guys have heard me talk about this album I'm getting ready to show you, I think, probably in about 5 or 6 of my videos in one way, shape, or form or the other. The Cooker, Lee Morgan, original mono press. It's pristine in every way. The cover is beautiful. You know how Blue Note does it. There's no writing on it. There's no nothing wrong with it. The wax is even better. It's immaculate. It's 4763rd Street labels. Guys, this was near the top of my list for years. And my same friend who hooked me up with Larry Young's Unity sends me a text message at work one day, and it's just a picture of this. And he says, original mono pressing. A buddy of mine is selling it. It's like, I can't really do much to help you this time. This is the amount he wants for it. Can you raise it? And so my response to him was, how much does he want for it? How big of a hurry is he in to get the cash? And he goes, I don't know, let me ask him. He responds back with, he wants it as soon as possible, obviously. He's trying to make the deal, but as soon as you can do it. And I said, I tell you what, your buddy doesn't know me from Adam. He doesn't owe me a damn thing in this world. See if you can get him to hold it for me for 24 hours. If he can hold it for me for 24 hours, let me make some moves. Let me see if I can sell some stuff. Let me see if I can clear up the cash. And if I can't do it within 24 hours by this time tomorrow, tell him to try to sell it to somebody else. He'll have no problem for that price. Because if I told you the number, most of you guys are going to think that's a high number. But for my fellow jazz heads who love buying original presses, you'd be like, holy shit, that's a steal. He'll have no problem selling that. And you'd be right. But it's a business deal between me and a friend, so I don't reveal prices. But anyway. But I'm at work. So that's the dilemma. And because I'm at work, I can't go digging through my shelves and see what do I have that's worth some money that I don't mind getting rid of. Because, I mean, what the hell is the point of selling your Saturday Night Fever soundtrack? I can get $1 for that. There's no point in that shit. You go to the stuff that's worth money, that you know you don't have to move but so many records of, that you don't mind parting with. That's what you go for. So for me, that's usually my analog pressings, my Japanese pressings. All that stuff used to mean tons to me. It doesn't mean as much to me anymore. I used to have hundreds of analog and Japanese pressings. I have hardly any now. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So I'm thumbing through my phone, through my Instagram profile, and I'm the lead on my machine at work. I'm just an industrial worker, guys. Blue collar kind of guy. And so I'm thumbing really quick. Like, what do I have that I can copy, paste, and post for sale on Instagram? So I come up with dozens of them. For sale, this much. For sale, this much. And I'm underselling pretty much everything because I want to sell them because I want to make the money. Well, my boy at Noble Records, Dylan, I guess sees all the stuff that I'm selling and he knows how I roll. I usually only sell records if I've got a goal in mind. Whether it be to get ahead on bills or whether it be 9 times out of 10 is so that I can raise money to pay for something I really want. So he sends me a message. He goes, "What's the deal, dude? How much money do you need? What are you trying to get?" It's a text message. So I send him a picture of the cooker that I got sent. I said, "This is the glorious son of a bitch I'm trying to get." And he's like, "Okay, wow, man, you never see that. How much money do you need?" So I sent him a roundabout ballpark figure of the money that I needed for it. And let's just say he fronted me a very great portion of that. He and I had a trade coming up a few days later, a deal. I was going to bring us a box of wax. He was going to bring me some wax. We were going to make a deal kind of like how we always do. But he could have waited for that deal. He didn't have to send me that money that night. He didn't have to front me that cash. But he did it anyway because he's a glorious person and a wonderful friend. I made a big fuss about it, obviously. I'm like, "Dude, thank you so much. You have no idea. You're the greatest, yada, yada, And him just being a great guy he is, just wants to help people out. Just responded with, "Oh, no big deal, dude. I'm sure I'll end up owing you cash after our deal anyway. Haha." But I thanked him several times for this deal on several other videos. I'm going to do it again. Thank you so much, Dylan. I don't own this record without you. I really don't. I really just don't. I don't own that video. I do not own this glorious record without you. You amaze me. I would have never, ever finished that deal in that 24-hour window had you not stepped up and helped me. Thank you so much again. Cheers to you, my friend. I'm going to have you over and play this bastard loud for you one night. Man, it sounds glorious. Thank you so much again, my friend. And in closing out this video, for years and years and years and years, I think the number one want on my Grail list for years, number one, definitely hanging around in there, has been a original mono pressing of John Coltrane's "The Love Supreme" for years. And just a couple of months ago, I was able to cross that off my list. Original mono press, John Coltrane's "The Love Supreme." Now, it's got that because people were fuckers and apparently just didn't look at these things as collectibles back then, which is a damn shame. So when you open it, it does that. And that pisses me off, I'm not going to lie to you, as you can tell. But the record sounds great. It does. I would say VG plus in most spots. VG plus in most spots. VG in with 1 or 2 spots, probably for a grand total of 20 seconds of the record, to be honest with you. For the most part, this thing sounds absolutely fantastic. But this is such a high want for me. This was such a high on the grail list for me that I won't be perfectly content until I have my high VG plus cover. Until I have a full cover. The rest of the cover's fine, honestly. Just if I could just have the full cover. So, I'm very happy to have this. Don't get it twisted. But, and for a lot of albums, for albums that aren't so high on my list, that would do it for me. That would do it for me for life. But because it's so high up on my grail list, that won't do forever. That'll do me for now. But it won't do me forever. I need that cover to be every bit as beautiful as that wax, and I just need it. That record, actually, that wax would do me, I think. If I could find better, that'd be great, and not break the bank. That'd be great. But that cover just won't do. Not for that album. Not for my all-time favorite jazz artist. Not for one of my all-time favorite records. Not for one of my all-time grails. But, again, I have the music. I have this glorious mono press. It sounds really great. And this year was a great year for vinyl. And that's just 10. And I promise you I'm leaving off dozens. And let me just go ahead and say this. Quick flip through just to make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Okay, I'm not. All right, out of those 10, I did not go to a record store to buy a damn one of them. They all came from people. They all came from friends. My advice to you guys, if you want to find great records, if you're like me and you got to a point where you love this genre and maybe you feel like the area you live in doesn't represent this genre very well, maybe you feel like, you know, you love the blues, but maybe, you know, St. Paul, Minnesota doesn't really represent the blues so well. Again, I'm just throwing that out there. For all I know, there might be some serious blues heat in St. Paul, Minnesota. So you guys, please don't come at me. I'm just throwing out an example. But let's just say that. And that's definitely the way I feel in upstate South Carolina. The area I live in does not represent jazz worth a damn. Even our greatest record stores in the area, and we've got some great ones. And back when I just basically bought classic rock and soul, back when I basically just bought that, man, we've got that for days. We got you covered on that. But jazz, not so much. Not so much. You'll be lucky to find a jazz record or two a year. And I'm talking about, like, you know, the original Holy Shit records. A year at these record stores. So, I got to a stage where now, for the most part, and by the most part meaning 98% of the time, for the most part, I only buy jazz. And my record stores in my areas just, they don't come with it. But my boy at Noble Records does. He hooks me up. And my boy at DJ Party does. He really hooks me up on jazz. And if you want the best records, get to know people. Make relationships, make friends, get out there, go to these pop-up sales, go to these record sales, go to these gigs. Get to know these people that like your videos and at you on Instagram. Get to know these people. Get to know these people that like your videos and get to know them. Guys, I get records sent to me for free. I do. People will send me a DM on Instagram and be like, hey man, I've got this jazz record. I think you'll love it. What's your address? I'll give them my address and they just send it to me and they never want any money. They just know I'll enjoy it, so they send it to me. That's happened to me 3 or 4 times now. And none of these people ever want any money out of it. I try my damnedest to send them some money. They don't want it. Because vinyl karma is real. It's so real. And it's a great thing. So if you want the best records, and I know that this video didn't start out this way, but you guys know I love to run my freaking mouth. If you want the best records, roll up your sleeves and get to know people, guys. The vinyl community has really helped to restore my faith in people and in humanity. And I'm not bullshitting. I know it sounds like I'm trying to get deep on you guys right now. I'm not. But with every time you turn on the TV, another school gets shot up. Every time you turn on the TV, there's, you know, another shooting in a workplace. And every time every time you watch world news, there's another terrorist attack. And it's just really easy to lose faith in people. But the vinyl community really has helped restore my faith in people. So many people out there willing to do so many solids and so many nice things. And it might seem like a small thing to some of you, putting a record in somebody's hands and not expecting anything in return, or helping somebody find a record and not expecting anything in return. That might seem like a small thing, but here's why it's not a small thing. To me, music is the number one thing in this world that brings all of us together. It unites all of us. Whether you like Britney Spears or whether you like John Coltrane, it brings us all together. It is not divisive. It is uniting. Religion divides. Oh my God, it divides. Almost every war in the history of the world has been fought over religion. It divides. Hell, sports divides. I mean, it'll bring you together, but you can you watch a fight between a Cowboy fan and a Redskins fan at a sports bar, because damn it, I've seen it. So that'll divide too. Somebody might laugh at you because you like Britney Spears, but they're not going to swing on you. You feel? It ain't going to happen. So it's the number one uniter. And it's the greatest thing ever. And it makes people happy. And it damn sure makes me happy. And it's been one of the great things in my life. Outside of my daughter, my wife, my family, and my great friends. Outside of those things. But anyway, this video is going on too long. But I'm sorry and I apologize. You guys know how I am. You guys know how I wag and wheel. And I've got a couple more videos in the can for you. I just got to get them edited and put out. But all of you guys were doing your top 10 finds or whatever for 2018. So I figured, hell, why not? That's a good enough idea. I'll jump on. But in closing, I just want to say, in turn, we're going back to my, if you want to find the best records, get to know people. Guys, I went to record stores 4 times this year. So little that I have an exact number. One time was record store day in April. The other 3 times were when I know the record store I went to had heat. 2 of those times were when I know they had heat. One of the other times was my buddy wanted to go, called me up. And I said, okay, sure, I'll go. I remember him coming home with all kind of shit that day. I remember me coming home with hardly anything. But I had a good time. 4 visits to record stores all year. And this was easily my most gratifying year for music. Because I've gotten out there and I've gotten to know people. I highly recommend it. If you're kind of just floating around on social media, if you're floating around on Instagram, if you're floating around on YouTube, if you're just kind of floating around out there, just kind of doing a couple of likes or whatever, posting a couple of albums, I highly recommend you get in there and get to know people. But anyway, this video is going on too long. Until next time, until next video, keep dropping that needle, you guys.